Those Friday night lights shining bright tonight all across the region. And how can you not love high school football? The pride, the passion, and the pageantry.
Oh, yeah, you are absolutely right, Scott. And it's only getting better. The season is still young, but teams are starting to play those regional matchups, and we know what that means. Those games mean so much when you look at the playoff picture down the road. And we had a huge regional matchup tonight in Fairfax County. It was Marshall battling Yorktown. The Statesmen started the year 3-0, but suffered its first loss last week. They don't want another, but it's Yorktown who strikes first. Samson Schneider going to the end zone. Alex Hans absorbing the contact and still makes the incredible catch. Touchdown Pats. Later on, it's the defense coming up with a play. Marshall with the fumble and big man Bobby Shea scooping it off the turf and taking it back for the score. Just like that, it's 14-zip Yorktown. First half winding down. Marshall finally finding pay dirt. That is Alexander Milbrink muscling his way across the goal line. But the offense was kept under wraps for the most part tonight. 42-14 Yorktown, your final score.
Let's go to Fairfax High School. The Lions hosting South County. The Lions Den wearing pink. Fairfax threatening. Third down, and Clayton Smith keeps it himself and gets in for the 7-yard score. Extra point no good. 6-zip Lions. South County looking to respond. This helps. Quarterback Dylan Miller looking deep to Travion Campbell for the 33-yard connection all the way down to the 3-yard line. Fairfax defense hoping to make a stand. Fourth down for the Stallions, and Miller looking for an open receiver, but his pass falls short. South County, though, comes back to win it, 17-15. Private school action. Episcopal taking on St. Stephen's and St. Agnes. The Saints marching. Freshman quarterback Anthony Youngblood tossing it up to Walker Ferry. Ferry with a height advantage comes down with it, and that goes to the offensive player. Touchdown Saints. All right, second half now. Youngblood trying to make something happen again, but this time it's pressured and loses the football. It's recovered by Darren Armstrong for Episcopal. The ensuing drive, the Maroon in the red zone, and Mosai Matthew, the slick flick to Ziggy Allen for the 10-yard touchdown scamper. Episcopal's run game could not be stopped. They win 40-6.
A lot of good football names in that one.
Yeah.
I like those. All right, in Arlington, Washington Liberty playing host to the Wakefield Warriors. Third quarter, we're tied at 7. This one a defensive battle. Wakefield coughing up the ball, and that is Henry Cruz with the recovery. But the Warriors defense making a stand. Generals bring out the fake punt on fourth down, but Wakefield not falling for it. Next Generals possession, big man Jeremiah McCray getting a big paw on that ball for the deflection. And yes, he's fired up. He deserves to be. Washington Liberty, though, they continue to fight. Few yards out, handoff going to Braden Black. Touchdown Generals. They win this one, 14-10.
All right, we're just getting started here on 7 News on Your Sideline. We're going to take a trip to Montgomery County.
Oh, yeah, one of my favorite matchups of the night. Churchill and Quince Orchard, the undefeateds, battling in a Friday night showdown. Find out which team picked up the W. 7 News on Your Sideline rolls on. Stay with us. Welcome back to 7 News on Your Sideline. To be the best, you have to beat the best. We know that for sure. And for the last several years, one of the very best teams in Maryland has been Quince Orchard, a dominant program that is already 4-0 this season. Yeah,
Natalie, the Cougars are always so tough. Yep. But let's not forget about Churchill, well coached, and they always do those little things right. The 4-0 Bulldogs hosting 4-0 QO tonight. Opening drive, Churchill in blue. Noah Zhang has nowhere to go. Diego Rodriguez flies in for the tackle. Ensuing Quince Orchard possession, quarterback William Drakeford Jr. finding Rodriguez up the seam, breaks one tackle. Touchdown Cougars, 7-0 QO. Later in the first quarter, the Bulldogs defense still fighting. David Skopek gets the sack and fumble. Sirhir Lester with the recovery. Churchill could not do anything with the turnover. Second quarter now, QO finds the end zone again. It's Drakeford Jr. to Rodriguez one more time. Quince Orchard tops Churchill 34-13.
Well, that's a connection. All right, let's head to Bethesda. Walt Whitman hosting Springbrook. Second half, Whitman with the ball. Quarterback Hikem L. Gromley airing
Nice
it out
pass.
to Jack Wills. Gets behind the defense and just trots into the end zone. Whitman laying it on 35-7. Later on, it is that Vikings defense coming up with a huge defensive stop. Malik Sharaim and Jacob Sherman with the tackle here. Turnover on downs. And then the icing on the cake for Whitman. Logan Farrell saying farewell to that defense. In for the short run across the goal line for the score. Whitman wins 48-13.
I believe his father is my doctor.
Oh. We love
Way to go, Logan.
We love a little detail
Yes.
there, Scott. Thank you. All right, in Rockville, Maryland, Wheaton and Richard Montgomery going head-to-head. Rockets ball. Quarterback Dylan Webster has a rocket for an arm as well. Goes over the middle to Joel Conda. He's got room to run. He's just go and go and go, and check out that speed. Touchdown for the Rockets. And Scott, I have to say that's a great way to get the student section on their feet, scoring touchdowns. We love that. It's 6-0 after the mixed extra point. Wheaton, though, looking for the response, and they get one. That is quarterback James Destin. So elusive, even our cameras couldn't catch him. Pretty cool. That's a touchdown for the Knights, but tonight it's Richard Montgomery finding the end zone more often. Rockets 32, Wheaton 15.
All right, love the energy at Walter Johnson. The Wildcats taking on Seneca Valley. First quarter, no score, WJ in green. Quarterback Jake Forberger going deep. Great job here by Amir Strong to get the interception. The Screaming Eagles take over. The Wildcats can play some defense too. Nico Meekins untouched on the sack. Seneca Valley would be forced to punt. Second quarter, still scoreless. Screaming Eagles quarterback Kenneth Lennon III rolling out and finding Strong for the touchdown. Seneca Valley has a lead 7-0. Next WJ possession. This is what you call a response. Huge hole for John Laird. Nobody lays a finger on him. Game tied at 7. However, Seneca Valley wins a close one, 20-13. And we're not done just yet. There was another big matchup tonight in Prince George's County.
Oh yeah, two teams trying to get an important win. Bowie and Oxon Hill will tell you which team is celebrating a big victory tonight. Stay with us.
7 News on your sideline rolling on here. The Oxon Hill High School football team is mad. Last week, they lost their first game of the season. It was an overtime heartbreaker, falling to rival Potomac.
Well, Scott, next up for those Clippers, a trip to Bowie, and the Bulldogs were entering the night not in a good spot. Yeah. They were really trying to get that offense going after being shut out already twice this season. But we had a picture-perfect night for football across the DMV. So much fun when we can get out there and it's not freezing and we're not sweating. Anyways, Oxon Hill with the ball. That's Clippers quarterback Jordan Creek throwing one to Nevin Joseph, who's doing the rest for the touchdown. Bowie's band trying to strike up some momentum. Meanwhile, Oxon Hill, they keep rolling. Enoch Barruns with the shotgun now, and he finds Javion Canty. Canty finding his blockers open space, and you know the drill. That's a touchdown. Oxon Hill wins this one 49-6.
I told you they were mad.
They were
Staying
mad.
in PG County, Eleanor Roosevelt hosting Suitland. Rams rolling early. Anthony Boyd Jr. hands it off to Jaden Wooden for a 5-yard touchdown run. Suitland building their lead. Them Raider boys still working hard. Bryce Durham, he's looking for an open man and finds Dante Whitaker for the 7-yard score, but Suitland gets a big 30-7 win.
Good for Suitland.
Yep, let's go to Loudoun County. Briar Woods facing John Champe. This was a defensive-minded game on 4th and goal. Dominic Plush trying to find an open receiver, but runs out of time. Turnover on downs. Later, Plush again, back to pass. This time he's intercepted by Chance Kimball. Falcons in business. Not much better for Briar Woods. Brooks Randolph, back to pass. He's hit, and he fumbles it. Nothing doing for either offense. Later, Knights kicker Justin Kwan to attempt a field goal, but that's blocked. In the end, Briar Woods ekes out a 13-7 win.
Wow, good for them. All right, our final game of the night taking us to Ashburn. Broad Run hosting a really strong Loudoun County squad. Captain's ball, Montez Dyson taking that handoff on the far side, beats a couple of defenders, and he's fighting his way in for the score. Touchdown Loudoun County. They're up 43-0 at this point. Now, Broad Run would eventually get into the end zone. This is Mason Schwenke reeling in the pass from his quarterback, makes a man miss, and he's in. Broad Run cashing in on the 2-point conversion. But that's as close as they would get tonight. Final score 43-8.
Loudoun County, Loudoun Valley next week. Battle of the unbeatens. She'll be there.
I'm excited. Should be a good one.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. For Natalie Spala, I'm Scott Abraham. Have a great night, everybody. Enjoy the weekend.